Hello everybody. I wanted to do a little update on my AWI project. I've had a little bit of time to make a little progress, and if you remember, I'm still working my way through the Warlord Games Liberty or Death box set on the Continental side, and I finished up the last of the Continental part of the box. Excuse me, here I've got an officer stand, and this particular sprue that Warlord Games does on the Wargames factory miniatures, you've got heads for sculpted for specific generals on each side. This one is supposed to be Washington, so that's the one I selected. And then I had a couple extra infantry on a sprue, so I just kind of threw them on the base to fill it up a little bit, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they came out. Horse is a nice animated pose. A little scary being plastic, though. It's all held up by the rear two legs, but so hopefully that holds up. I know, as I've said before, on my Continental Infantry, I'm going with a brighter blue than is what really is representative of what it would have worn, but to me it makes it pop a little bit better on the tabletop, and on such a small scale that all the dark colors just get kind of lost. So that's what I went with there. One other little note on these two infantry here, I did a lot of these walking poses by Wargames Factory. If you just glue them right together, and there's still some of it present here. They look like they're looking at their toes when they're walking. So I had to trim both of these heads quite a bit in the back to get them so that they're looking, especially this one's looking pretty upright. This one, he's looking down a little bit while he's walking, but I think it looks a little bit more natural. And then I did change the positions of these arms. They were just some extra arms that I had to try to get kind of some different poses. The rifles were separate. I just put them into the open hand, and so kind of basically I did some customization there to make them a little bit more unique and more animated for this particular piece here. One other thing I was going to mention about this is I don't have any round bases, but I do have this happens to be a Milwaukee, but it's a hole saw, goes on your drill. Got quite a few different ones that I use for work that I do with my job, but this one happens to be 2 5/8, and that means it makes a 2 5/8 hole, or a 67 millimeter hole, but the inside will be less the thickness of the blade. So this particular one, it's 67 inside, but when you cut through your hardboard or MDF or whatever you're using, the inside dimension is about 62 millimeter, which gives you about a 60 millimeter base. So I did that because I have tons of that hardboard that I'm using for making the bases for the movement trays for my infantry, and as you can see on the bottom, it makes a hole where the drill bit goes through to center your hole. And so I was able to glue a magnet in that hole, because the way I'm going to transport this army, all the movement trays will be magnetized on the bottom, and I can take them on a cookie sheet or a cake pan with a lid on or something to transport them safely if necessary. So that was kind of a side benefit from that. But I think it worked pretty good using materials and tools that I had. But just I'd point that out. You can use those hole saws for making some of your own bases if you want bigger or smaller. And then the last, this one you can see there's only one horse pose, and basically one general that can ride. And you can see here's kind of your two options without getting more funky with it. This one, of course, got a sword and his hat. This one is he's gesturing with his hat, and but by painting them up different colors, horses and stuff, I think they don't look too much, too samey, I guess is what you'd call it. But for the game that I'm kind of painting this up for is land of the free. This bigger round base would be the force commander, and then your force is divided into groups, and so you need a group commander for each group, and then you need a minimum of 2 groups. So this is going to be, this is the base that that they came with on the sprue. So I use that for that because he's just an officer as opposed to the main general. And so I will need 1 more of those, but the Liberty or Death box set only has 1 more plastic sprue, and I'll use that for the British side, and then I'll buy a Perry Brothers or something to represent the 3rd, for another group commander for my force. And then the British, I'll have the 1 plastic, and then I'll buy 2 Perrys for that probably at some point. But anyway, that does finish up my Continental force out of the Liberty or Death box set. That's every one of the figures. There might be 2 or 3 on the sprue that just didn't go in the regiments or the cannon or whatever. And I don't know if anybody's interested. I could set them all up and kind of do a showcase, so you can kind of see what you've got, and you can kind of see what I've gotten. If you're interested. And then now I'm kind of returning to my Bretonian project now. Just about got a unit done, and I'll save that for another video. We can look at that if you're interested. And anyway, thanks to everybody for watching. Like always, comment if you've got something, questions or criticisms or just comments in general. And I've been enjoying watching everybody's videos. A lot of really amazing stuff out there. Sometimes when I put my stuff up, I'm kind of wondering if I should put it up because it's not really. Sometimes it's not really on par with what you see on YouTube. But there are a lot of videos of the Wargames factory miniatures. They're not premium miniatures, but they're affordable. And so I kind of wanted to showcase what you can do with them and kind of what the results are. It's been a fun project for me so far. I think I'll work on my Bretonians a little bit, and then I will be returning to the AWI, but starting the British, and that won't be till after the 1st of the year at some point. So, everybody, thanks for watching, and hope you're having a great holiday season. I know everybody's kind of busy now, so hope things are going well, getting some time with family and friends. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.